Sean McDermott could very well seek a trade with the LA Rams to bring in Tre'Davious White to potentially start at free safety. Rumors are swirling that the Buffalo Bills could potentially bring back Tre'Davious White to the Buffalo Bills, and I know we look at Christian Benford and Rasul Douglas and how stellar they've been this season, but the safety position is an opportunity for Tre'Davious White to come in and compete. Clearly, knowing this defense under Sean McDermott, there's been countless players in the NFL that transition from corner to safety, and one of those reasons is because they get up in age, they start slowing down. The demand of the one-on-one on the perimeter is very tough to deal with, whereas being a safety, you get help from your corners, and you could really cut half the field. You're not trailing people in man coverage. You're not having to run alongside these speedy wide receivers. That's why knowing Tre White's history and the injuries that he had here in Buffalo, clearly probably not as dynamic as he once was, acceleration-wise, agility-wise, clearly getting up in age. Tre White would benefit from being a transitional player from cornerback to free safety. This article breaks down Charles Woodson and the countless other players in the NFL in the past, but Woodson is not the first aging quarterback to move to center field. Rondé Barber has seen snaps at safety increased over the last 2 seasons, and this article is obviously dated years ago. Rod Woodson did the same thing at the age of 34, and he proceeded to make it to 4 straight Pro Bowls and capped it off with the first team All-Pro selection in 2022. Terrence Newman and Al Harris have experienced in this too, but I wouldn't trust either of them bringing down a tight end running over the middle, and likewise D'Angelo Hall might be a solid tackler, but do you really think he'd be willing to admit that he lost a step? So it really comes down to being humble, understanding, hey, look, I had multiple injuries here. I tore my ACL. I've started to slow down. I might not be the oldest player in the NFL, but I could have a resurgence and reunion here in Buffalo, playing free safety alongside Taylor Rapp, Christian Benford, Rasul Douglas, and also Tre White at the free safety spot. In my previous video, I spoke about Jamal Adams. We spoke about Mike Edwards trying to get up to speed. But here, I think a reunion of Tre White to the Buffalo Bills as a free safety makes a lot of sense. We can see the article here talks about what a cornerback needs to make a perfect transition, a seamless transition from cornerback to safety. So, 1, a player must be a strong tackler. Tre White and the DNA of all these cornerbacks that we have brought in, we put them on one-on-one situations on the outside. Tre White was actually an excellent tackler. Rasul Douglas, Christian Benford, even Kaiir Elam, they do an excellent job tackling. Look at Cam Lewis and all these safeties. Taylor Rapp, the Damar Hamlin, open field tackling abilities here. The proof is there that Sean McDermott knows DBs like the back of his hand. He knows which DBs are going to excel in this scheme. And one of those traits is being a great tackler and relying on our cornerbacks to come in and contribute tackling. The second is that they're instinctive. And that's the other element that Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills are always talking about. Being instinctive, being a player that just knows a knack for football and being around the football, like Luke Kuechly, and having extreme instincts and just basically being able to mind map the play before it even happens and being in the right position to succeed. And 3, they need to be realistic. So all 3 points make a straightaway speed secondary. If a player can anticipate a throw, and the early jump puts them in a position to get their target on the ground. And I think Tre White, he is going to come here to the Buffalo Bills. He knows the playbook. There's not going to be any lag time there. He could come in seamlessly, understand the plays, and I think he still has a pretty decent break on the football. He's a great tackler. He's very instinctive. I think Tre White could very well come in here and again have a dynamic resurgence of his career under Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills. Some other players too to note is Champ Bailey, who moved on from corner to safety. And you have to understand what kind of defense the Buffalo Bills are in. It's very rare that we're in a single high safety where that safety has to cover both sides of the field. We're in 2 high safeties, meaning that field is really split, and Tre White will be getting help from either Rasul Douglas or Christian Benford. And I really think Look at all these players. Charles Tillman at 31 years old. Cover 2 defense are always going to be asked to make major contributions in the run support, and that's something that I think Tre White could definitely do. When you look at Tre White, Micah Hyde, I think Tre White is a more ferocious tackler than what Micah Hyde was, and a lot of people were speculating that Micah Hyde could very well come back. Brian Urlacher back in pass coverage. The remaining players within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage really need to be noticed. So, we have those dynamic pieces. Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano when he comes back, Dorian Williams, even Balin Spector starting to step up. The Buffalo Bills have the right defense here for Tre White to come back and excel in this scheme. Some other notable names, Antoine Winfield at 35 years old. I mean, an ex-Buffalo Bills player, really extended his career. He accumulated 90 or more tackles on 5 different occasions. And the recent being in 2010, he was a smaller safety too, 5'9". But if we have learned anything from safeties over the years, it is that size means nothing, especially against the run. Troy Polamalu and also Bob Sanders, Quentin Jammer, 33 years old, also made the transition from corner to safety. I know the speculation is the Bills made some roster moves here to free up cap space for the return of Von Miller, but before the trade deadline, could they very well be considering Tre White coming back to the Buffalo Bills? Sean McDermott's first draft pick, 27th overall, the first year that Sean McDermott got here, even before Brandon Beane. I think we know what Tre White is all about. Tre White knows the scheme. He knows how to just fill in seamlessly here and hit the ground running. Yes, he's humble and hungry. He's gotten up in age. He knows that we have one of the state-of-the-art health facilities and medical facilities here in Buffalo. Pagula's just built years ago. I think this is just a seamless fit for the Buffalo Bills. We could literally trade for Tre White. Maybe they end up just releasing Tre White, but I really believe he can come in here, be a free safety for the Buffalo Bills instead of a cornerback, and we could easily see a reunion here in Buffalo, and that could very well be the cherry on top for this Buffalo Bills defense. Amari Cooper, Tre White, supplementing some losses here, and we're going to continue to get better and better, progressing on the depth, and also getting healthier as the season unfolds. But I appreciate you guys all so much. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe for future content. Check the links down below in the description. You can get $20 off SeatGeek. You can also get $50 off Course Careers. And then also the chicken wing merch, sizes small through 5XL with free shipping. But you guys mean the absolute world to me. Truly, truly from the bottom of my heart, appreciate every single one of you. Every like, every subscription, every view really, really means the world. But I appreciate you. Hit like, subscribe, and go Bills.